Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Yes. I'm Anthony Floyd, Green Building Program Manager and Energy Code Specialist at the City of Scottsdale. I would like to thank Sam. Sam's been at this for a very long time with Energy Star program, with net zero energy programs, and he's been educating all of us around the country related to more energy efficient net zero energy homes. I'm going to talk to you more about, well, first of all, I guess what I share with Sam is I'm from the government too, and I guess I'm here to try to help.
Anthony,
Yes.
can the people in the back hear Anthony?
Can you hear me in the back?
Way in the back? You got it? Okay, thanks.
All right. I'll keep it up to my mouth here. So what I'm going to talk about, is that the remote there? Okay. I'm going to shift gears a little and talk more about a little bit about policy and what we're doing at the City of Scottsdale. I'm a former building official, code official at the City of Scottsdale, and so I just interested in knowing how many municipal government people, county people are here. Could you raise your hands, please? Oh, okay, quite a few, and I suspect mostly building department type folks. Okay. Yeah, I work in a planning and development department at the City of Scottsdale. I'm part of the Office of Environmental Initiatives. And I've been involved with codes and standards over the years. And then for the last 15 years, I've been involved with our green building program. And so just seeing both sides, I see a merger of green building and codes coming together. Because in a sense, our codes are already green, they're already sustainable, particularly if you look at life safety, preservation of health, preservation of structures, protection to get out of a building. I mean, it really depends on what you consider to be sustainable. It could be considered green, the building codes the way they are, and they're evolving and changing all the time. There are a lot of efforts that are going on simultaneously around the country, from the federal government, DOE, as well as cities and counties, and policy that's being created, and codes and standards. Through the International Code Council, the maker of the building codes, they created the first International Energy Conservation Code in the year 2000. That really wasn't that long ago when you consider the time and age or the length of time that building codes have been around. And that's evolving constantly. Every 3 years the codes are updated. And then there's a market change that are happening, and Sam alluded to some of that with the technology and lifestyle issues and convenience and all of that. So that's really, I think all of these entities are working together to really move things forward in terms of our lifestyle and how we live and protect the environment. In Scottsdale, we adopted LEED, and many of you, I'm sure, have heard of the U.S. Green Building Council. LEED is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It's a rating system. And that has evolved over time. Many cities adopt that. We adopted it in 2005 for city facilities to require all newly constructed city facilities to meet the LEED Gold level of certification. And we can see that over time here, as we go further down to the bottom, ANSI, or ASHRAE, excuse me, which develops energy standards primarily for commercial buildings. ASHRAE is the American Society for Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers. They develop standards for indoor air quality as well. Some of these standards and codes are making their way into the ICC process. So it's evolving over time. Now we have the International Green Construction Code, that bottom one, 2012. And in Scottsdale, we adopted that code. It's primarily for commercial buildings, but it includes multifamily. And there's a 2015 edition and is moving on to the 2018. So we're really seeing a mixture, a coming together, an integration of these systems from green building to codes and standards. This slide comes from the U.S. Green Building Council, and they really see this as a moving target, that codes are evolving over time. So if we look at net zero impact, that horizontal line there in the center, and the course over time running from left to right, we see that everything is moving up. The LEED is becoming more green. There's more additions that are coming out, versions that are being updated. The latest is version 4. And the codes are moving up. All of the things are moving up. From 20 years ago, buildings, as we know just through the market, buildings weren't as energy efficient. They were all single pane windows. Now they're all double pane. That's a part of the market. It's also part of the codes as well. And this is another variation of that same information, another graphic that shows LEED version 2, 3, 4 at the top, and platinum is the highest level of certification. But if we're looking at zero impact, which is right in the middle, the whole market, the industry, the codes, the standards, everything is moving up to be towards net zero impact. And that's because technology is improving, methods of construction is improving, our understanding of the process and how things integrate together is improving. So we're all moving together in this direction. So that relates to policy that we have at many cities, states, counties are developing policy related to energy, related to environmental protection. And this is some of the things that we're doing in Scottsdale. And it always starts out with a general plan. You have to have a general plan that's looking into the future, looking 50 years, 20 years, 30 years into the future. And that's when you want to start setting some ordinances to meet that goal. The general plan is a reflection of the community, the desires of the community and the future. What we want to see, our lifestyle and our children's lifestyle in the future. We have planning ordinance, native plants ordinance, environmentally sensitive lands ordinance, water conservation, green building, LEED Gold city certification policy, energy policy at the bottom. And I just wanted to share a couple of things we're working on currently right now is our General Plan 2035. And we have some issues that are controversial in Scottsdale, particularly dealing with density and building height. But amazingly, these areas dealing with energy was not controversial. So we're working on creating a hardline policy based on this, from net zero energy community to reducing per capita energy consumption to energy efficient building and site design, providing for solar access for the future, creating net or zero ready homes in the future. Also under energy, supporting development of renewable energy. We created a solar permit process to try to expedite the process for solar permits in terms of the time and turnaround to issue permits, and as well as the fees, so that we can track and keep account of the new technology that's being integrated into our community. Seek creative ways to increase energy efficiency of city facilities, looking at ways of doing that as well. And so currently right now we're in discussion with our Environmental Quality Advisory Board that we have at the city. These are citizens. Some of the individuals or citizens are in businesses in Scottsdale. And so we want to get input from them as a part of our Environmental Quality Advisory Board. Other cities, they may call it something different. I know in Phoenix is the Environmental Commission, but in Scottsdale is Environmental Quality. And so this is just an idea of some things we're looking at. These are all tentative, these numbers. We divided it between municipal facilities and private development. And pretty much the numbers are consistent, the same in both sectors, but we are looking at 40% energy reduction by 2020. And this is looking at a baseline from the year 2000 of where energy was there. We want to reduce that energy at least by that much in the year 2020 by 40%, then 50%, 60%. And we believe we get to a point where we will be net zero capable if you can reduce the energy use in a building so much, and Sam alluded to this, then it's much easier to go net zero. It's much easier to get more bang for your solar buck. You'll get more mileage, more energy production for the consumption in that building because you reduce the amount of energy use in that building. And we also are trying to increase the amount of on-site solar generation for our municipal facilities, as well as for the private sector by encouraging and providing incentives to do these things. This is an idea of, or at least a list of number of LEED certified buildings, and we're tracking what the projected energy cost savings is for each one of those buildings in the green highlighted area. And we're also doing the same thing for renewable energy capacity, the amount of kilowatt hours that's being produced in megawatts by the various city facilities. So with our energy policy and implementation tools, what we're looking at right now, as I indicated in our discussions with our Environmental Quality Advisory Board, is to ensure that we're always up to date with the energy codes. We're currently on the 2015 IECC, International Energy Conservation Code. We're looking at the 2018, and then we're preparing for the 2021. I serve on the Sustainability and Energy Code Action Committee for ICC, the International Code Council, which makes all of the building codes, including the energy and the plumbing and mechanical. And there's discussion of increasing the efficiency as well as addressing the comfort and the indoor quality, as what Sam was alluding to, so that it's not just about energy, it's about how we're impacting the building inside by creating a lot more opportunity for inside air makeup, fresh air for the occupants of the space and for the comfort. And then we're looking at, in terms of existing buildings, we're looking at benchmarking. So for new buildings, we have the codes, and even as the codes become a little more efficient and addressing comfort, that's new buildings. But what about existing buildings? How can we address that? So we're looking at some type of incentives, triggers to create audits, benchmarking, assessments of existing buildings, so we have opportunities to improve those as well. Since we issue solar permits, we've been tracking solar permits from the year 2002. So you can see where the numbers are mostly residential we're seeing, and it's mostly solar electric, photovoltaics. And so we can see that 2017 was the biggest year in Scottsdale of solar installations. And this is on private sector construction, primarily existing buildings, retrofits, where solar companies are coming in, pulling permits. And so we're seeing this trend over the last decades that every year there's more and more solar. So we're trying to accommodate that. We adopted the International Green Construction Code. We're on the 2015 edition. And under that code, there's an index that's called the Zero Energy Performance Index. And we're using that as a measure for solar-ready buildings, because if you can reduce more energy use by 30, 40, 50%, then those buildings are more capable of going net zero energy. Right now, this code is not mandatory for all construction. We offer incentives, zoning, bonuses such as additional building height, additional density. There's a lot of multifamily going up in Scottsdale, so we offer this as an incentive. If a developer wants to build more additional height, additional units, then they need to follow the International Green Construction Code. This is somewhat of an incentive. It's an approach that we're taking. Instead of making it mandatory, we're offering some carrots through zoning to follow the Green Construction Code. And these are just some of our IGCC projects, as we call them, in Scottsdale, from offices to multifamily projects that we have. And then we have some builders. Modus Development is a forward-looking developer in Scottsdale and the Phoenix area that they're only doing net zero energy as a multifamily product. So they want to be the first out there to do this. And I know they're working to get designations also through DOE as well for their projects. And this is Modus Development. Again, they're doing about 3 projects in Scottsdale, and each one wants to be net zero. And we're working in our own city facilities. We have one net zero energy building now. It happens to be a trailhead building, contains some staff offices and restrooms and meeting spaces. So it didn't have much of an energy load, but we are tracking, and this is our net zero energy building. And then I believe finally, this may be my last slide, I mentioned the energy codes that we're adopting. When we adopted the 2015 code, we also adopted the appendix chapter, which requires solar-ready provisions or solar-ready size space that's designated on the roof plan. Essentially, it requires minimum of 300 square feet of open, clear, unobstructed area on the roof for future solar. So for the last year and a half, since we adopted the 2015 code, all new construction, all single family and low-rise residential has to have a solar-ready zone identified on the roof. So that makes it much easier later on if the homeowner decides to go with solar. They have an area on the roof that's been designated with an identified raceway to go back to the electrical panel location where they can also insert an inverter for their solar system. And then also we're going to continue to adopt the International Green Construction Code with the next editions, the 2018. And we have made amendments. We're seeing some of the trends. So locally we made some amendments for energy related to high efficacy lighting, that 90% of all lighting in a residential space needs to be high efficacy, which basically means LED. The market is already moving in that direction. Also, hot water delivery. We really want to make it more convenient for people to get hot water when they need it and not wait for the cold water to run and waste water. So we're requiring hot water recirculation pumps that are demand activated. And there's some other things that we actually amended into our residential code so that we're preparing our buildings to be more energy efficient and more acceptable in the future and adaptable towards net zero energy. So I think that's all I have, and thank you, and we'll get started with the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Anthony.